Good evening, everybody. Sorry that we are late, but thank you guys for being so patient with us. Um, we have an exciting and very exciting show for tonight. We want to welcome you guys back to the second episode of Ladies Edition. So we want to give ourselves a round of applause for being ready for our second edition. So, ladies, I hope you guys have your wine available. You got something to snack on because we do, and we are ready for tonight's show. So when I say that we are excited about today's show, because sometimes we have to have a ladies' conversation that only us ladies know about. So we have two lovely ladies, two special guests here with us today. But before we introduce these two beautiful ladies, I want to go ahead and turn it over to my co-host, my sister, my girl, Miss Nakima.
Hello, you guys. How y'all doing? My name is Nakima, of course. Some of you might call me Kima. CEO also for K Wings Lashes. Um, my other business is Kima's Creations. Um, and then speaking of CEO, I also have another CEO. That's a little title. One of our special guests. Chantrell, y'all, you know Chantrell Hudson. You guys might call her Chantrell, and y'all might know her by Chantrell Hudson, but her name to me is Chantrell Vennessy. She is now married. Okay, we gonna get into that a little bit later on in the show, but I want to turn it over to her so she can introduce introduce herself properly. Miss Chantrell.
All right. All right. Good evening, everybody. I am Chantrell Vennessy. Yes, I do also go by the name of Mrs. CEO. Mrs. CEO because I am definitely a serial entrepreneur. I am CEO and founder of Little Stars Academy, one of the greatest preschools that you'll ever know of. We are a household name in the city of the beautiful Miami Gardens. I am also CEO of Chantrell's Tax Services Inc. We'll talk about all of that stuff a little bit later. I am a proud wife and a mommy of six beautiful children that I birthed. So that's me, guys, Chantrell Vennessy. So we're going to chat with you guys with some really good conversation tonight.
Okay. Awesome. We are happy to have you here, Chanterelle.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for joining us. And I want to go ahead and turn it over. Well, actually, let me go ahead and introduce myself. I am Kia Miles. I'm on social media. I am only one Kia on all social media platforms. I am also the CEO of SVO Mobile Bartending and Hookah Services, as well as I am with Miles Enterprise, and that's where I have my investment properties and my vending machines, that me and my children that we have. And I'm excited to introduce my sister. She is truly my sister, birthed by different mothers. She is my god sister. Literally, we went to the church before the Lord. Pastor put the water on her head and say, "You are now." My mom and dad is responsible for her if anything does happen. So she is my sister. I have had the pleasure of watching her go through everything, literally everything throughout her life. And she is our other special guest, Miss April Lewis, and I will allow her to introduce herself.
Hey everyone, can y'all hear me?
Yep, we
Yep,
Can
can.
y'all hear me?
we can.
Hi, I'm April Lewis. I am a retired law enforcement officer, so I am just getting my feet wet, getting used to being retired. I am a mom of three, and I do have two bonus kids as well. So I'm here to engage and talk about everything that we have going on in our lives, ladies, from motherhood, from being a entrepreneur, just ready to jump into it with you all.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We want to first introduce our sponsors for today. We do have a very nice sponsor. She is a lovely lady that I have had the pleasure of knowing for, I think, about the last almost 5 years, 4 to 5 years. I've had the pleasure of knowing her, and I've actually seen her do a couple of things in her career path that she's taken. She is now over Family Roots tutoring services. So if you guys are out there, you need someone to tutor your children. Miss Tia Curry, her name is Tia Curry on Facebook, and on IG, her company name is Family Roots LLC. She also does she's actually doing micro tutoring inside of classrooms. I had the pleasure of learning what that was about 2 days ago. She told me what that is. And she goes into your schools and she does virtual tutoring or teaching for different charter schools. And that's just another ramp of income that I thought was amazing, that now these charter schools are using these accredited, well, not accredited schools, but these actual licensed teachers to be able to come in and assist them with their education for the children. So I felt like it was only right to have this young lady as our sponsor today, because we have someone here with us that also has a school. So her little ones that she's teaching, and she's building them up to be special young people, men and women, they kind of go hand in hand. So I thought that would be very, very good to have her as our sponsor. So we want to give a big shout out to Miss Tia Curry. She is in Fort Myers. Yeah, she's in Fort Myers. No, Fort Pierce. I always get it confused. She's in Fort Pierce, but she does everything virtually. So if you have kids that are in middle school or high school or even elementary school, she offers a tutoring service, virtual tutor services, as well as if you are in her near area up there, she also can you also have come to her location, and she will be glad to tutor your children on all subjects. So reach out to her if your child or children are struggling inside of the classroom. She's able to assist you with all your needs. So again, her IG name is Family Roots, and she can be found on Facebook at Tia Curry. So I have had a rough day today. But I'm okay, and we're gonna get through the day. And I honestly came in the room and I just told this young lady, I said her energy, it made me feel a little bit better. Just her energy, and that's something that's good to have. She's a fellow Aries, so of course I instantly just gravitated to her because of her energy. Something about her fiery energy is it's something you could just soak up, and I appreciate it. So I this is my first time seeing her book, and it says Succeeding Against All Odds, and that seemed so great to have as our topic for today. So again, this is for ladies only. Well, not ladies only, but ladies episode today. This is our second episode, and we're going to get into a lot of things that we probably don't like to talk about. Those things that we say, oh, we don't want nobody to know. But honestly, we should want somebody to know, because we want to know somebody's testimony, because it can actually help us in other realms of our lives. So being quiet all the time isn't always a good thing. So today is going to be an open forum. So that's why we kept tagging Grab Your Wine. Grab you something to eat, get you a little snuggle up, and sit down. Let's have a conversation about a lot of things that we may be uncomfortable. Because sometimes when you're in an uncomfortable state, that's how you grow. When you're in an uncomfortable state, you start listening more, because somebody else has a testimony that can benefit you. And I believe these two young ladies absolutely do. And like they always say, it's not how you start, but it's how you finish. And I am amazed at how these two beautiful women have actually finished or well, not finished, they have changed their race, and they are striving. They are excelling in all avenues of their life. So we're going to go ahead and turn it over to my sister, because she got some questions. Y'all know Kima be having all the questions and all the things to talk about. So I just be here. I'm just here. So I'm going to let Kima go ahead and get started with her questions for these two. So I hope you ladies are ready for tonight's show. And also, before we get started, please go out and vote. Tuesday
Yes.
is the last day
Yes.
for us to vote.
Yes.
We
Vote.
have to make sure that our vote counts, that we want to get the right person in office. We need the right person in office for this next
That
4
matters.
years. It definitely matters. If you have not voted, please go out and vote. Tuesday is the deadline. I also want to ask you guys to please like, follow, and share these podcasts on Facebook. We're live on Facebook and also on YouTube. We ask that you go out and you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the BBR 2023. By all means, please like, follow, and share, and tell somebody about it, because something that we're talking about can touch somebody if it can't touch you. So just always go back and just listen to the podcast again. Just soak up some of the energy and some of the things we're going to talk about today, because we're going to touch on quite a few things. So I hope y'all ready, because I am. So Kimba, we're going to turn it over to you so we can go ahead and get started.
Okay. So I have a few questions for these ladies here, and I hope you guys are tuned in and your ear is close as possible let me get right into it. Okay, so I want to start off asking you ladies, firsthand, what made you guys get into your entrepreneurship? We can start off with you, Miss Chantrell.
Okay. How I became an entrepreneur. First, I'm going to say I was always a working mom. Had my first job when I was 17 years old. Of course, I had a baby. I was a teen mom. So I had to work. I had my first apartment when I was 18. Got out on my own, never went back home. I had to work. I had to put a roof over my baby's head and I had to take care of me and my child. So I always worked. But in the working world, I would always find myself when I get on these jobs, I know what position I applied for, but when I get there, I always go above and beyond. I always would find myself doing a supervisor's job or just doing a boss's job, and I'm not even the boss.
Right.
And that wasn't at just like one workplace. I saw myself doing that. Any place that I work, like I always was a leader. I don't want you to tell me what I need to do. I know what I signed up for, and I'm gonna do my best, and I'm gonna go above and beyond. I'm gonna knock it out of the park. I remember people thinking I was trying to take their jobs or something. They like I used to intimidate these people,
Right.
but I'm not trying to take your job. It was just something in me.
Mhm.
So I decided my first business would be Chantrell's Tax Services. So what it was I had friends that had income tax firms first. So I would work up underneath them, but I had so much clientele.
Right.
God just blessed me and I had so much clientele and people just really trusted my work and gave me the opportunity. So eventually I grew and I decided to open up my own income tax firm, which I am still doing today. We've been I opened up back in 2010 and I'm still here and we're still thriving and we're still going.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. Another situation I ran into once I started having more children, these jobs would alter my schedule.
Right.
Like I say this and like I had to apologize to my son because literally I could not be there for him the way I'm here now for my other children. And there's a little mom guilt there because he's a young adult now.
Right.
So with that little mom guilt, I knew like he went through the struggle with me.
Right.
That was my first child. Like
Right.
he went through the struggle with me. So
Right.
I'm like, I have to do something else. Like I cannot not be there with my kid. Like I remember getting off work, not taking a normal lunch break.
Right.
I would go on my lunch break to go pick my child up from school, drop him off the aftercare, and drop him off the aftercare, go back to work, call around and see who gonna pick him up, and then keep him until I get off work. Because these people play with my schedules. I'm like, I can't. I have to come up with something that I can. I know I'm gonna have more children than I had my daughter. I was like, now I have a daughter. So things are really, 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 really different now. I just started working for myself. And it was hard and it was tough and it was kind of scary, but it goes back to your roots.
Yeah.
Right.
Where's your faith in God?
Yeah.
Right.
Where's your faith? If you don't try, how do you know if it's gonna work for you or not?
Right.
And I bet it on me.
Oh, that's
And
good.
And I won.
That's good.
You absolutely
That's good.
I bet it on me and I won. And I think what makes me successful in just, I'm not going to even say being somebody's boss. I'm a leader. Because what I expect other people to do in my places of business, in my companies, I also do.
Yeah.
I've
Right.
also done.
Right.
I don't mind mopping my floors. I don't mind cleaning the toilets in my preschools. I don't mind changing a child's diaper if I walk
Right.
past you and I smell poopy or something. I don't mind. So it's not like I'm walking around pointing fingers and telling people what to do.
Right.
I am a leader
Yeah.
first, and I think that is why I am so successful, and I am a great person for somebody to work for because I don't look at you like you just an employee. I treat
Right.
my employees like
Like
family.
family.
If I
Right.
can help you, I am going to help you.
Right.
Because I know how I felt when I worked in those corporate places, and
Mm-hmm.
they talk to you crazy,
Yeah.
and they just make your job so stressful. Why do jobs have to be so stressful? How do you have your family at home and then you working for a company and you being stressed out? And I just did not want to create that environment for
Right.
my employees. So
Right.
I think that played a big part in my success and why I'm here today.
Yep. Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay.
Miss April, I will be asking you the same question. Let's get
Wait,
into it.
you mute. We can't hear her.
I can't hear you, sweetheart. Are you there?
We heard her earlier.
Yeah, we can't hear you now.
Are you muted? Can
Hold
you hear
on.
me?
I can hear you.
Oh,
Oh,
there
there
she
we
Okay, there you
go.
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 There we
There you
go.
go.
There you
Okay, go
go.
ahead. We can hear
Okay.
you now.
I didn't do anything, but I was saying, congratulations to Chantrell. Sean, I
Thank
think I
you.
said her name correct. Her
Thank you.
story sounds similar, to mine's. Like, that's crazy, but hey. So myself, same thing. I was a teen mom. I got pregnant at 16, had my son at 17, so I did started working early myself, and I knew that I had to do something to, generate income for me and my son. I got into the work field space, and I just always knew that I wanted to be my own boss, but I still did what I had to do to take care of my son at the time. And I even remember being a part of FBLA. I don't know if you guys remember that, but
Mm-hmm.
I was also in high school, and I just always found myself in a leader position without trying to do it. It was just similar to her. Even with working in corporate or in the space that I was in, I would be designated to do certain things for certain of my subordinates. And I'm just a regular officer, but at the time, I did have one of my captains tell me one time, like, you're past this. Like, he saw something in me, and it kind of, it gave me some courage. And I dabbled in fashion because I love fashion, I love beauty. I dabbled in that. I just like having extra income. There came a point in my life where I got married, I had children, and I'm like Sean said, I had daughters. And when I had those girls, let me tell you that really changed my whole perspective of being a mom, and having daughters and having a son is two totally different things. And me being a teen mom, I just was like, I can't be working these hours that I'm working, and I got daughters. Like, it was like a cycle that I saw happening all over again. And I have really great girls. They're not into a lot of things, but in my mind, I just wanted to be that mom that was there because, like Sean said, my son, we kind of grew up together. Instead of more of me raising him, we were like, side by side because I had him so young. So at times I felt that mom guilt as well, but I have redeemed myself with that. And I just poured into myself. I believed in myself. I sustained an injury at my job in 2021, and that injury resulted in me being put out of work. And I still had to pay bills and still had to take care of my children. And so I just sprung into action, like, I gotta do something to make some money. And that's what kind of put me in a position where I, did the vending machines for my girls, and then I got into brokering car rentals, the Airbnb game, like whatever it was, I jumped in it and invested, and I made very good money doing it. And that's how decided to go ahead and get into like the serial entrepreneur space. It was just something that I had to do for my kids. My girls had a lip gloss business, and that was another thing. I just believe in them, and I just wanted to be that mom that's like, I tell them, if you want to be an astronaut, I'm gonna find the best school for you where astronauts can go, and I'm gonna take y'all all the way to the top. So that was, pretty much my journey with that.
Okay. All right. Good. That's good. I guess we all were teen moms at one time in our life. Yeah, I had my well. Um, me and him literally grew up together. Everybody know it was Key and Malik. They thought like that was my brother. He wasn't my child. He was my
Wow.
brother. And I think we all went through that, that guilt situation with our
Yeah.
first children because I used to tell them, you ain't coming on instructions.
Yeah.
Nobody gave me a
Oh, definitely.
blueprint. Nobody told me, oh, this is right, this is
And
wrong,
we spoil them rotten.
Yes,
rotten.
that first one.
It's
Absolutely.
Oh
just, you try to figure it out the best way you possibly can.
Can.
And I just was a strong believer in, making sure that my kids had a voice. I had all boys. I had bonus kids as well. And my stepdaughter runs my business. Like I've had her since she was 5. And to the point where people think she's literally my child because we look alike. But she's not. She's my stepdaughter. And I love her. Like she is literally my own. I raised them as if there was no stepbrothers and stepsisters. You can't tell them that there's anything different. And I want to say maybe 2018, after I lost my son in 2017, 2008, well, not even then. I started before that, but I kind of like took it seriously 2018 when I started the hookah company. But before that, I did have one focus firm. One focus firm was something else. I did a lot with one focus firm. I did that business nonstop for about 7, 8 years. And I was a publicist. I ran the Henry and Zach Crockett Foundation. They're 2 NFL players. When I say I've done and seen it all in that type of industry, I have. I did the American Black Film Festival. They used to come down here every year. I did the 5,000 role models. I did a couple of NFL players did football camps. I had a whole nother life before this life. Like I really reinvented myself because when I was married, my kids had to have it all. I had Miles Sporting Goods. I had all boys, so we did uniforms for kids on the football field because my husband was a coach at that time. Like I did above and beyond for my kids, and I still do. It's a gift and a curse, but I strongly believed in, with boys, I don't want to lose them to the streets. So I try to give them what they can so they don't have to go elsewhere looking for it.
Absolutely.
That's just something that moms do. We try to go above and beyond for our kids. And sometimes, it ain't good all the time, but I don't know no other way.
Yeah.
I don't, because my parents, it was 4 of us. My parents had it, not enough
Yeah.
for 4 kids, but they did their best as they could. So I try to make sure my kids didn't have to eat Spam because we
Yeah.
had to eat Spam growing
Try to do a
up.
little bit different than what they did for us.
Correct, because I refuse to eat Spam. I
Right.
used to hate Spam sandwiches and bologna sandwiches. I used to hate that job, man. Listen. Warm up some Spam or some bologna, watch that bologna pop up.
Right.
Man, baby.
Spam and eggs for breakfast. I ain't want kids eating that kind of
Right.
stuff. But they'll never know. So, we do what we got to do as mothers
Mhm.
to make sure, like, we don't get a chance to say, I ain't got it. Oh, I can't do it this time. We don't have the opportunity.
It's true.
We don't. We have to make it happen by all means.
But let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
You just said we don't get to say, I don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned that we need to tell them, no.
Yep.
Yeah, I found it out today.
No, I don't have it, because what happens is, and I'm going to tell you from my experience, what happens is, especially when now your life is different. Now you're the successful mom. Now the kids see that it is nothing. I mean, they know numbers now. They older and they know numbers, so they know what things cost, and you get it for them. You make it happen for them. So now they become these young adults. They feel entitled, and I learned, and I'm still learning, because now my kids are becoming young adults. You have to teach them when they're younger,
right,
that they need to work for what it is that they want. Like, you need to earn it. Like, my money is not your money.
right.
Because
Right.
once I tell you no, now it's attitude.
Right.
Like, what?
Right.
But that's what we create.
Yeah.
So for me, I have to take accountability into that as well. My daughters right now, I ain't wear $300 wigs and all of this stuff. And I didn't do that. And yes, I can buy it for you. And I have. But then I was like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like, let me stop. Yes, my son, video games, this, that. I'm going to get it for you. But I'm pulling back because I'm not getting you everything. That older one, going to teach you. That first one, going to teach you. That second one, gonna go a little something. But the
Right.
other ones behind that first and second one, they gonna get the business, because I done been watching and learning, and I'm working on it. So yeah, we have to teach our children to work for it, to earn,
Yeah.
to earn it what they have, because if not,
Right.
they ain't gonna know how to
Like
work for
you see what
nobody
Cookie
else
said? Cookie
and
said we don't have no days off.
Nope.
no, we don't have no days
Not a
off.
one.
Yeah.
Not a one.
Not none.
Not a one.
Agreed.
Oh, I wonder why the comment. I guess it's just why it's doing that. I
It's
gotta
like
see.
cutting the comments
Yeah, it's
off.
cutting them off. I don't know why. Maybe because April Picture is here.
Probably so. It could be that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I
But we can read it from there, right?
Yeah, I wanted the people to be able to read what she was saying if they could.
Gotcha.
But let's go back. Let's go to well, Kima, you got something to add to it before we go to the audience?
Actually, no. I do want to get into these questions, but I do want to say this. I wanna also, because I didn't say this at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I know this girl in several worlds, right? She's a lot to me.
Right.
She's a sister, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's my son aunt.
Mm-hmm.
She's as you can see, she's an entrepreneur. She's a CEO.
Mm-hmm.
She wears a lot of hats, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen her from here
Mm-hmm.
to shit to here.
Right.
I have seen her
Right.
in that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say I'm happy for her, or when I say I'm so happy for her, or like my congrats to her, it's a little bit deeper because
Right.
I've seen her in some stuff,
Right.
which we're going to get to, and that's in this book,
Right.
right?
Okay.
But it's when you guys, when y'all get to when we get to the specifics about this book, I need y'all to get out there and order this book because, baby, we hide a lot. We keep a lot in. And at one point of time, she was that person where she used to hold a lot in and never. But the person she is now,
right?
Oh, baby, she's a whole different beast in a good way.
That's good.
You understand what I'm talking about? So I believe she's going to be able to help a lot of people when they read this book.
Good.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this before we get started. Where can they find your book?
The book is on Amazon.
Okay.
So when you go on Amazon, guys, you can search Succeeding Against All Odds. There may be a couple more, but just put my name in. It'll pop up.
Okay.
Just put in Chantrell Succeeding Against All Odds. And you can purchase the book off of Amazon. They have it in Kindle ebook, or if you want the hard copy, you can have that one as well.
All right. All right. Well, let's go to get started with these books. But hello, everybody. Hey, Marvelous. Hey, Cookie. Hey, Tia. Hey, Don Juan.
Girl, I don't know how
hey,
to ask.
Lil.
I'm excited about these questions.
Hey, everybody. Thank y'all for joining in. Hey, Miss Guyton. Hey, Ron. Thank y'all for joining in. Hope y'all ready. We're going to go ahead and get started with these questions. Come on. We ready?
Okay, so everybody's kind of like a little bit blinded about the book, and maybe some people that's on here probably read the book. Already have it, right? So this book is really based off a relationship that was very toxic. Verbally, physically, emotionally draining, right? So I had a few questions that I did want to ask these ladies because they both have similarities but different situations. Okay. So my first question was, did your abuser show signs that you may have ignored beforehand?
I'll go first. Yeah. Yes. And I think what not just myself, other women, friends that I have, other women that I talk to and we talk about things. We by nature we're nurturers. So what someone gives you before, they can be a good person. Because in my situation, it wasn't always like that. It wasn't always that way. So when things went left and the abuse started, it's like, we're going to blame it on everything else. Because one thing an abuser does is uses those narcissistic ways to make us feel sorry if we decide to leave. Like, and they'll hit you with, who do I have? You're the only person I have in my corner, and this and that. And of course, we're gonna know things about them because a lot of men struggle. A lot of men have things that that happen to them in their childhood and things
Mental
that they go
issues
through
that they didn't deal with.
themselves. And that's the word. It definitely all boils down to their mental.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you something. When you add drugs and alcohol to that trauma
Yeah.
and their mental, is deadly.
Deadly.
It's deadly. So you have to realize yourself after certain situations, you're also traumatized. And if you stay long enough, it's not going to end up well. My situation was not, it didn't get better. I'm going to tell everybody this. Hit you one time, I'll hit you again.
Yeah.
And although you may be that girl and you fight back, because I was a fighter. Like, don't think you just gonna hit me and that's gonna be what it is. Because baby, I'm coming. But then you get tired of fighting.
Yeah.
You get tired of fighting because it's not normal.
Right.
It's not normal because you don't want to hurt the person that you're supposed to love,
Right.
especially if you have kids by them. You don't want to hurt them, but it's something in them
that's not
registering, and it doesn't end well, especially when there are children in the home and there are children involved.
Yeah.
Because if you cannot see those red flags and do something about it, something is wrong with you to where you might need to get some counseling and some help and some intervention. That was me. I was in that thing 8 years.
Yeah.
8 years. Because I was fighting for something. Like, I felt like I had put my time in it. It wasn't always that way. We got children.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like, especially like from me, like I said, I worked since I was 18 and I always worked. Then this man comes along and shows me something different. You don't have to work. I don't believe in you working. I took that and I stayed home and raised, raised my kids. I didn't have to go to work. That story that I was giving y'all earlier about I'm working, they playing with my schedule, I can't be home with my kids. He told me something different.
Yeah.
And I was tired. I was tired.
Yeah.
So that sounded good to me. And from what my grandmother taught me, a man's supposed to take care of the woman.
Right.
But I see that differently today. I don't abide by that today. I learned the hard lesson from that. And then that's not everybody's story, but it's mine. And it is something that I don't regret because I have daughters that I teach that to. If I wasn't in it, I wouldn't have it to teach it to my girls. Like, I tell them right now, don't depend on no man. I'm sorry. It's nice. You can do for me. I appreciate it. But that's a bonus because I'm going to always secure myself.
Yep.
You will not have me on a puppet string. I've been there, done that.
Yep.
So the red flags was there. We have to take accountability as women and admit to it. And we got to let it go.
And acknowledge it.
And let it go. And it's going to take starting over. When I left that relationship, I left with $26. No clothes for my kids. I left everything home. I already had my preschool then. A lot of people ain't know that.
Yep.
My employees knew it because stuff used to happen in the parking lot of the preschool. After hours.
My baby was
I'm
going
fighting
there.
in the parking lot of my establishment.
Wow.
And nobody knew that. All people saw on social media was that, oh, she with this dude and he got money and oh, she always drive a nice car and she got a daycare and she have the nicest bags and those kids are spoiled and that's what they were seeing on social media. I didn't want them to see nothing else.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to see nothing else because I had never been through nothing like that in my life. And I was ashamed and I was embarrassed. Like, I didn't know how I let myself get in that deep. That's why I didn't want nobody to know. Oh, not Chantrell. What? The dude doing what to her? What hit her? Doing what? I didn't want nobody to know that because I wasn't raised like that. Like I said, like, I'll throw these, we'll fight. But it's just, one side decided this is not right. My kids getting older. My son feeling away. I had to say, my kids was the strength that I needed to. It was my kids.
Right.
It was my children.
Right.
That's how I just said one day I locked up that preschool and I didn't know where I was going, but I wasn't going home.
Right.
I just left. and I
Wow.
never went back.
Wow.
So yeah, we be knowing the red flags be there. We be trying to save, we be trying
Save
to say,
face.
Save face.
that's what we be doing.
Is that true, April?
I totally agree. Yes. Again, for me, yes. Her story is similar to mine. So crazy. I was in love, and same thing. He didn't want me to work. He just wanted me home. And I'm gonna be honest. Like everything that we built was fast, but it was also like it was very, very much everything I ever wanted. It was not nothing that I did not get. And at some point in the marriage, um, I noticed the aggression would come out here and there. It wasn't so much physical at the time, but again, you see the signs. And I just want to say this because I don't care to get too far deep into it. Um, for me, it was the nurturing side of it and just knowing like we as women, I feel like sometimes we lose ourselves for these, for men, but our children as well. We sacrifice our happiness and our peace for
Mm-hmm.
the sake of them. And what I mean by that is like I wanted my kids to be raised in a two-parent home. I refuse to be a single mom. And to go along with those lines, I was suffering internally. And I'm a very kind-hearted person. I'm very strong-minded. Like I'm a go-getter. I'm a hustler. I'm all of that. But sometimes at night I would cry myself to sleep, with him laying next to me. I would pray over him. I would ask God to, you know, work on him, work on me to be better for him. Like I found every excuse because I wanted the marriage. I wanted it to work. I wanted us to always have that family because when it was good. Like you said, we were good. And it was one day I realized I'm like, this shit is so toxic. It's just what is the difference with me being in a toxic relationship, in a toxic home, and who's to say that it is toxic or negative if you are in a single parent home? Like where did that come from? When if I'm going through the things that I'm going through and the kids are experiencing this because they go through it too, and that's just as toxic for them. So if I can be at peace and separate myself from this, we probably can make it, a better environment without, him being in the house. And that was like a light bulb that came on for me one day. Like, I don't know where it came from. It just hit me. And I was always afraid to kind of like be on my own with taking care, expenses and raising kids. Cause again, I had this persona that I'm not gonna be a single mom, I'm a wife, that comes with, that's a title that comes with perks. It's like, oh, she's married, she has a beautiful family, everything is nice, but at the sake or at the sake of my peace, it just wasn't worth it anymore. And I started becoming more vocal, and
Mm-hmm.
I noticed the more vocal I became, the more tension and the more separated. And it was like therapy was involved. We did counseling, we spoke to older couples. We like exhausted everything because again, growing up in the church, it was like, oh, you don't do divorce. God don't honor this.
Yeah.
God don't. So I had all of these things, y'all, it was like unbalanced. Because it's like, dang, do I do this? And I don't want to make God mad and I don't want to make my kids mad. It was just so much pressure, but I decided to walk away. And like, Sean, I left with nothing. My sister can tell you I literally was gonna go to a hotel. Like I had nowhere to go. I had nothing. I was stripped. When I say stripped of everything, frozen accounts, froze all the credit cards, it was just the whole narcissistic behavior, the gaslighting, the the controlling, the love bombing, all of those which I had not known what that what a narcissist was at the time. I
Mm.
didn't really understand or heard of that until I started seeking therapy on my own for me,
Yes.
to heal from what I had been going through. And so for me, it was just more of a learning experience. And again, I would not change that for the world because it wasn't always that way. And I'm not saying that I was perfect because we all play a part
Right.
in things that can transpire during relationships. It's just at some point there was a disconnect and the connection just wasn't there anymore.
Yeah. Do you guys think that it ever was like, okay, so I guess my question is the first time that you guys experienced it, did you guys think to yourself then to just I don't want to do this. I know like I just want to I need to pay attention to this sign and just like prepare myself.
Um, the first time I and she'll probably say the same thing as well. For me, I just was like, don't ever let this happen again, because I will leave you, and I will do this, and I will do that. And so what happens is, after that, the whole big old fight, yada 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 yada. Talk about all that stuff. There's something called the honeymoon stage. I'm gonna get me a new Gucci bag.
No lie.
The money gonna be in the bag, and he's gonna drive up with a new Cadillac and hand me the keys and where you want to go and this and that. So that's the honeymoon stage.
Yeah.
And now I'm not mad no more. I'm not mad no more. Everything seems to be normal, but I can
That's the
promise you,
Band-Aids.
in
Oh, yeah, I know.
about 3 weeks,
Yeah.
it happens again.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a cycle. It's the I'm sorry, please,
Yeah.
please, I'm sorry, I would never do it again. But I'm just this, and there's excuses.
Yeah.
They
The
give you excuse.
crying and
Yes,
then
no,
the
like literally, the narcissists are so bad. Like she said, I didn't know what that was. I literally used to feel so bad, like, oh my God, like how could I leave him like this? Maybe we can work on it. Maybe if
If
I
you had to think
don't
about
do this,
yourself.
if I don't do this like this, or if I don't say this to him this way, he won't do this. Let me just work on me. Maybe I'll say stuff a little better, or maybe I
You
won't.
start
That's
yourself
Right. So
because you thinking you the problem.
Yeah, that's
right,
what narcissists do.
The
right.
They make you
manipulation.
thinking that you're doing
You
something
think
wrong.
that,
Especially
and
when
then
they
you
start
start.
crying,
Yeah.
you're like, oh my God, because men don't cry.
My husband used
They
to be like,
do,
they gonna go to church. My husband be like, let's go to
but it's
church.
the crying is fill you back in.
Mine ain't used to say, let's go to church. Call pastor.
Mine used to say he gonna go to church.
Just call pastor himself.
He'll come home.
Please, y'all,
He'll
talk to her
come
for me.
home. Come home. He ain't gonna talk to no pastor. Now he wasn't gonna do that. He'd be like, babe, what God say?
What
Let's
God
go to
said.
church.
God
Let's go
said,
to
let you
church.
go.
But you know what? You say what God said, but when it was so bad for me, I ain't want to talk to nobody. I was just like, God, it's me and you. Only you could get me out of this.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. At this time, I got too many kids. I don't know where we going. I don't know what we gonna do. But it's just me and you. Ain't no friends. Ain't no nothing. My family used to try to call interventions on me, little family meetings and stuff. Right, Keith?
Right.
But I just could not.
Whole kumbaya, okay?
Everybody will always be like, "Why you just don't leave?
She
Leave
don't
them."
want a kumbaya.
That's not what you should be saying, because
Right.
it's a real situation and it is not that
Wait,
easy.
you was talking, April, because it cut you off. What you was
Oh
saying?
yeah, I wanted to interject what she said about the people who say, "Why don't you just leave?" I don't know what world do they live in.
Right.
You leave 99% of the time. Look how many domestic violence cases are on television. You know, when you try and leave all the time, and even when you do leave, because I left, but then I went. You know, I left and then I went back, and every time it increased, like it was progressive. The aggression was more progressive, more violent. And so again, I was looking at my family, I was looking at the people, what they would think, what they like, oh, it ain't great, the grass ain't greener, like, like
Yeah.
people, but to just say, oh, I'm gonna get up and leave. So how you didn't try? How sometimes you leave out, you will literally be temporarily gone.
Can I? If it's safe to say, that you both will worry about the public eye?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. It's
I
that's
was, I was, yeah, because I had like, very known,
Right.
and
right.
you know, my
You didn't want
even in my
nobody to
line of
feel like your relationship failed.
Absolutely.
Correct?
work, that
Am I saying
that
it
too,
right?
he just he was honed in on, I'm gonna do better, and I believed him. Oh my God, I believed him. I believed it every time. The I got baptized, did counseling. I mean, guys, we got kicked out of counseling. The lady told me, if you stay married to this man, I feel sorry for you, literally.
Wow.
And I stayed married to him because I was like, I'm gonna make it work. And like, I do not have anything against the church, against people who pray, who say let God, they be like, oh, don't let the devil use y'all, don't let the devil come in and take over. And I'm like, listen, God gave us common sense too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when he keeps us these signs, you don't need to sit around and be just like, well, that's the devil, that's the devil. No, God's showing you too and revealing. You
Yeah.
praying for revealing, you praying for healing, you praying for God to show you a sign, and he like, I show her every time and she's
Yeah.
Right.
still going back.
But
Most
see,
of
this
So
is where how we were raised in our churches, that that was frowned upon.
it
If you
is.
decide that you want to get a divorce or you even talk about divorce, that's frowned upon. And like April knows everything about me and our situation, vice versa. So when it came time for when I made the decision to leave, nobody knew because I didn't want to hear it.
yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
Don't
literally,
talk
I
me
didn't say
out this
nothing to
situation.
anybody. She didn't know. My
Yeah.
best friends didn't know.
Yeah.
I told not one soul.
Same
He
here.
went to work.
She did the same
He
thing.
went to work. I got a U-Haul. I packed up only my kids' clothes, shoes, and I changed my phone number. If he wanted to talk to me, he had to email me. You have to escape. You find a way to just not just get away. Not like
Yeah.
he wasn't like physically abusive like that. I would say like he
More
verbally,
mental
more
and
mental and
verbally.
more verbal. I think the most thing he's done was like he zip tied me and put me in the closet
But she's
and then locked me in the
held,
closet.
girl,
Listen.
held hostage.
Yeah, so I couldn't go nowhere. But again, it was
That's
the manipulation of money and power.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
that's what it was.
Yes.
So with him, it was like, everybody knew he had some coins or whatever, and he knew it as well. So I was grown, I was drawn to that.
Yeah.
And then every time I used to hate flowers. Because every time he did something wrong, he'd come home, I have money in my pocket, my purse, and I have flowers on the table. Flowers mean he's want me to forgive him for something that he did the day before that I don't know about.
Yeah.
So I grew to hate roses. I couldn't stand flowers. Don't bring me no goddamn flowers.
Yeah.
And I had to catch myself and be like, that's not that man's problem
Yes.
because of what he did previously.
Yeah.
I just could not. Anybody had any type of like trait of him, I veered away from him because
Yeah.
I can't see myself living that life again
Right.
with another individual. I just won't. And I guess that's the Aries in us. I can't tolerate a lot
Oh,
of stuff. You're
yeah.
not gonna
Once
keep
we done,
talking to me. I'm done.
Yeah.
You
ain't
might as
no
well be dead.
nothing. Mm-mm.
I do want to acknowledge our viewers. We do see your comments.
We do.
We will get to your comments and answer as they come along.
No, they're not
But
making. They're not asking questions. They
they
say
asking
hey.
no questions or nothing. Okay.
No. Well, Sharonda said she has a similar story, is what she said. She said, "While I share a similar story, let me
Mhm.
put it up on the screen so you guys can read it. While I share a similar story, you ladies as well as a domestic violence survivor, you do see the signs, but the sake for kids, we're being
To
a
accept.
wife to
Mhm.
stay and just start to accept things as they are. Agree." She also came back and said, "All my DV survivors, ladies, you ladies are strong. So are you, so are you, sweetie.
So are you,
So are
sweetheart.
So are you." Hey, Sheikah. Hey, Georgette. Thank you guys for joining the show. We appreciate you guys.
Lim.
I'm not.
Oh.
Hey, Lim. We're gonna acknowledge him, but that's it. That was his comment he had about how he feels. So it's okay.
I've seen
Okay.
it. It's everybody's entitled to their
To
own
opinion.
opinion.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me because people have their own opinion, and it's comments like that is what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? There's no microscope. There's no blueprint. There's no.
But
We
I
don't get a.
acknowledge Lim.
We don't get a menu
I'm
when we
going to
see a
acknowledge
guy. There's
because
what
put the question there
they
or
are.
It was a
whatever it is,
statement.
the
What
comment,
was it?
I'm going to acknowledge it. So,
No.
first of all, when you meet someone, they come in with the representative.
Facts.
You get what I'm saying? They come in rolling out the red carpet. They do everything to show you they not that person.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're in a relationship, and that, as you heard Sean say, and also April say, at the beginning it wasn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like that. So the relationship was good at the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now you 2 to 3 kids later with this person. So you tell me, is it easy just to walk away from somebody you don't have kids with, you don't build a life with, y'all don't got assets together? That is not easy, especially when you've been trauma bond. That's basically what that is. You understand what I'm saying? This person, he don't went through some stuff. He's mentally disturbed, and then just came in your life with it. You get what I'm saying? So you just can't just say that based on our choices of who we
have
decide.
children
Yeah,
from.
you just
And,
you don't
and
know. You know at the beginning, just like when you meet a woman, you don't know what you getting into. You going by what she give you, the first reputation of her.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? The representative. That's what you get. Later on, you start finding out she's a person that probably want to take all your money.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? You don't know that until you further along get into the relationship. So I did want to address that because you put that up there.
and let me say this too, like all men aren't physically abusers. Like they don't plan to be that way. And I'm gonna say this, with my situation, it wasn't that way all the time. It wasn't like I knew. It was an incident that took place in his life where he was injured and he was not able to be a provider that he used to be. And that alone, men that are providers, that is a right there.
Absolutely.
So the only punching bag or release is the spouse.
Yes.
Or times the kids. But in my relationship, it was with the kids. It was me getting all of the backlash, and I can remember times trying to be, like, well, I can help, I can do this. I don't need you doing that. I'm a man. So he was dealing with his own things as a man. It was just displacing frustration, displacing the anger. So sometimes they don't necessarily become that. And then, like she said, when drugs get involved, and I'm not saying he was a drug addict, but because of injuries and surgeries, he got on opiates. Those opiates can cause people to act out different too.
Yes, medication.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it
It'll wake up what is already
inside of
inside.
So so it's like you got to be mindful of what you project out there when you don't really know, and no person's story, because not just our story, but no person's story started off, aggressive or violent. It all started off like a fairy tale.
Right.
Like, everybody had butterflies in their stomach and was in love and all that. It always been that way. And I genuinely still do love them. I do. I'm not in love. And I just know that, we have children and we just have to co-parent. That's it. But you would never have me at the space that you had me before. So I just wanted to point that out, because it's not always just about the aggression. The aggression, certain things that transpire in your lives, it could change a person like this.
Yes.
Any trauma. So, yeah.
Okay, so I want to touch on how long were you together for the both of you ladies? How long you were with the person before the first encounter happened, the first incident, the first bad incident, like whether he hit you, whether he was verbally abusive, whether I know y'all say y'all saw little manipulating things and the narcissist and all that stuff, but was it any physicalness involved? And when was the first encounter?
There was, for me,
Okay.
I was, it took 3 years. I had already had my first child from him, my second child. So 3 years for me. So for me, I'm like, something wrong. What's going on here? Because I remember the very first time, like we had something, a major blow up. It was me that tripped out.
Right.
It was me.
Right.
And I had every right to.
Right.
and you ain't do nothing then. So, like I said, it wasn't always like that.
Right.
Something changed.
Right.
I mean, something changed, and I couldn't put my finger on it.
Right.
But then later on, I found out alcohol,
Mm.
drugs.
Yeah.
That played a big
role
part, and
to
it was so bad till I'm like, that's what it is. It was never nothing that I did. So now, how can I help him? How can I help him? Because you function. Once the daylight come, you back to the normal person that I know.
Wow.
Right.
But in the nighttime,
becoming a whole.
You are a different person. It got so bad. I remember praying, like, please don't let this man come home tonight.
Oh wow.
I don't want him to come home. I want to get some sleep tonight. I don't want him to come home. It was bad. Like that.
You had days like that where he would just walk in the house and want to argue.
Wake you up 2, 3 in the morning. The kids up, everybody up, turning all the lights loud. Yes, nobody, no rest, no nothing. So when I'm praying to God, Lord, please help me get out of this. I don't know. I just need you to get me out of this. Because it didn't start off like that. So I thought I could help when I found out what was some of the issues, the alcohol, the drug.
Right.
I'm like, okay, we can fix that because you were not like this. This is not the person that I know.
Yeah.
But that person that you turned into was the person that was gonna kill me.
Right.
Had I stayed any longer. Had I not left when I was supposed to leave, because it got real bad to the point it got to, I'm gonna get you before you get me. So now, the first sign, I already know how it's about to turn out. So now I'm striking first. So I got my knives, I got my pepper spray. Now I'm attacking because I already know what you about to do. And I'm like, I will lose everything that I worked so hard for if I do not just, girl, get them kids, just go.
Right.
Yeah.
Deal with it later. But then you get scared because you have, like my situation, it was coming to my job, coming to my family members' houses. It was, I just didn't see a way. And then the police was not helping. Like, I ain't had no problem throwing them in jail. So everybody be like, oh, call the police. But the police ain't going to keep that bullet from flying through my car window either.
Yeah.
The police can't get hit quick enough before you kick down the door where I'm at, because that almost happened too. So it's just like everywhere I was going, he was showing up. Take the tag off of my car. The I will kill you. I believe that because you put a gun to my head before. So I know that your mind ain't right now. And now I know you probably will for real, because now you done lost your family.
Right.
So now all those threats that you made, oh, it's going to be you and the kids and then me, I believe you.
Yeah.
So I just had to exit, and I prayed about it, and it was nobody but God that helped me in my situation, because he ended up getting locked up.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And I was free. If God did not put him somewhere and sit him down, and he couldn't get to nothing in there, no drugs, no alcohol, no nothing, that man would have still been coming after me.
Wow.
And I had no peace. Like, I had no peace. I'm like, God, you said that you make all things new. You have changed my life since I left. But I still got a problem because I still don't have no peace, because I have his children. And I never want to take his kids away from him. But I also have to protect them, because his mental ain't there to protect them. And my kids love him.
Right.
Because he's never harmed them.
Right.
Never. But which parent is going to protect the children?
Right.
So I didn't want to seem like I was taking them away, but something had to happen.
Yeah.
And that's how mine's happened. He ended up, I just noticed he stopped coming and calling and bothering me, and I ain't asked no questions, and then I heard he was in jail. And I was like, God, you answered.
Wait, it was so good.
prayer.
It ended up in the newspaper.
Yes, yes.
It ended up in the newspaper.
I was like, God, you did it. I didn't know how you was going to do it, but you did it. And sure enough, he got a couple years, getting 5 years. That was enough time to sit yourself down.
Yes.
Right.
And I went on with my new life, and yeah, just been great. Just gotta go. Just gotta go. You can't help them. I tried to save them. You can't save them. So I tell anybody out there, you cannot save them. They have to want that for themselves. We will hurt ourselves trying to save them.
Yep.
It does not turn out well for us at all, or
Okay.
them either.
Let's go to the comments. Don Juan J. Twan. I don't. He wanna. He
He
wanted
say,
to tell us.
his
I'm a
story.
victim of DV. I understand, ladies. Do we want to hear his story?
Oh Lord, please, please tell us. Cause
Call
you know
in and
what?
tell us.
You know what? Men are victim too.
They
For
are.
real.
They
Men
are.
are victim too. I mean, it ain't all just ladies, but men
Yeah.
are. It's some ladies out here that's just
Off the chain.
Yes,
yes,
they are.
yes. So
They are.
it's men are victims too. So if you want to call in, Don Juan, please do.
Okay, so Georgette says, I respect how you women in telling your stories are giving those men grace. But in that you all also took your lives back. This is helping someone, and I will agree.
Yeah,
It is.
I
definitely.
agree.
Felicia said, hello, Queens. Hey, Fee, how are you? Thank you for joining. And Sharonda, unfortunately for me, I had to lose it all, but thankfully I gained it back and so much more than I lost. That's great. That's
Gotta
awesome.
do
That's
it.
how God do it.
Yep,
That's how
that's
he
what he
do it.
do. And she also said it's fact. She can't save them all. But we're gonna turn it back over to April. April, what do you have to give to the question that Kima asked? Do you need her to repeat it, or you know what she said?
No, I remember.
Okay.
Yeah, my incident was maybe about 6 years in, I want to say. And again, it was due to like an injury. And I just remember when I got with him, I moved into his home. And so his home became our home. And I got a flat mouth. I'm not finna even sit up here and act like I was just a little princess. And so I got fly that day because I was tired. I wasn't feeling good myself. And it was like, he told me you get the F out. And I'm like, what you said? And it just hurted me because it's like somewhere deep down I always felt like this is your house, and for you to say that to me and meant it and went to grab it, and like it was just too much. And so that was the first time, and that was in 2013. I was gone for like 4.5 months. I went and got my own place and started over, rebuilding my life. And here he comes with all of the sob stories and let's go to therapy. Now I've been trying to get this man to go to therapy, y'all, forever. And for me, that was a sign of accountability a little bit because it's like, dang, he really want to go to therapy. Now it's hard to get a man to go to therapy, y'all.
Yes.
And when he suggested it, it made me feel like, okay, he really want us back. He was like, I want my family back home. And that was just the thing for me, y'all. Every time we did get into it, that's his favorite. You could dip, you could get out, this, and that. Who wants to go through that? Like who wants to be like, I'm supposed to be your wife, and you every time we get in an argument or a disagreement, I gotta go. Like who does that? And that just did it for me. I mean, he's even called the police on me, knowing that my line of work, and it's like 2, 3 in the morning, you come home with hell in you. And like, Sean said, sometimes mine's he gambled really bad. So drugs and those vices, again, we can't. I never had infidelity issues. I can honestly say it was never. I did drive-bys to casinos, y'all. Like that was my
Yeah.
thing. You know what I'm saying? So
Hit
it
like
wasn't
four one night.
infidelity. Like, you cannot beat that. Those vices of addiction is crazy, y'all. So for me, it was that, and it was just like I couldn't take it. And that night when he called the police and he was like, "Yeah, see, she an officer. See her uniform right there. That hurted me. Y'all was like, yo,
Yeah, your
that
job.
means he want to see me lose
Yeah.
everything."
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And that right
You're not
there,
with him.
y'all,
Do it.
Yeah.
that's a low low.
Yeah.
Like most of the time you got women that do stuff like that. It be women who be like, "Oh, you going to jail, you finna lose
Ag-
your job, you finna."
Agree.
It was the
And
other. It was like,
get out my house.
What mine said, shut the whole school down.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Lock on the door.
so I honestly, y'all, I just, and again, we're not, me being away, it took a toll. It made him humble. Like she said, he did not. I mean, he's been to jail, but he was not convicted. Because guess what I did? I helped him beat his case. I got him out.
After all
So
of that.
again, after just again, we as it's just something we feel
Help
like we gotta do. Some women don't, but in my case,
Yeah.
I did. And I'm looking at, I want my family, and he's gonna change, and he this and that. But baby, let me tell you, when I got woke, I was woke, and I was like, it's
Cause
like,
sleep at that
like
moment,
she said,
right?
some people not gonna get it. We can't save them. We can't. And it's like, I can't save you, dog. I'm tired. I'm tired of like a child. I'm done. Like
You was
figure fourth
out, baby.
done.
But
It
you
was
know
done.
what it
I
is?
take it back. Take
They
my
they
life
don't.
back.
What it is they don't think you will ever leave them.
Absolutely.
They don't
No,
think that
you're
you're gonna
right.
leave them. They got away with it the
Yeah.
first time. They got away with it the second time.
Mhm.
And if they are the breadwinners, they are the providers, like you said.
Absolutely.
They have the power and they have the control because they've already put us in a position where
Mhm.
we're dependent on them anyway. But they did it. They did it underhanded when they did it. They used
Yeah.
the stay
I
at
mean,
home,
Dr.
don't
Word,
work. I'm a man.
how many times he wanted me to quit? He used to be
And
like, "Oh, I take care of you," and I'm like, "I work hard to get where I'm at." Like, I just thank God I never quit, cause I thought about it, y'all. Don't get me wrong. Like Sean said, I used to be like, "Oh, I could be home, I could be chilling," cause he made good money, take care of everything, and
And
girl,
I
please.
didn't think of it like that. I really just felt like, wow, this is the kind of man that
Yeah.
your grandma now was talking about.
yeah,
The
Yeah.
man that's supposed to take care of all the bills and you stay
Mhm.
yeah,
home and
Mhm.
raise the kids. Cause baby, I raised them. I took care of my kids. I cooked, I
Mhm.
cleaned, and I
yeah.
had my own place. So
Mhm.
what I
My
noticed was my own place. He didn't really want me in my own place. So
Mhm.
you know what he did? Now when he got me to not work no more,
Mhm.
guess who's supposed to pay my rent?
Yeah.
It's the control.
Him.
Yeah.
Paid the rent for, a couple months. And then now you strike up the argument. And now what's gonna happen? I'm not moving how you want me to move, so now you're not gonna pay my rent. And you know what's gonna happen next? Now I'm getting
Now
evicted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's gonna happen next? You got somewhere for me and these kids to go, because that's
Well.
what you
Cause you
wanted
gotta move. That's
anyway.
where you want her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He used to cut off her credit cards.
So
Mhm.
I,
He'd cut off her credit cards, her
Jesus.
access. And I'm that friend, like you can call me in the middle of the night, bitch, come get me. I'm coming to get you. We gotta go for a ride. I'll be like,
Ain't
oh,
asking no
I'm like,
questions.
all right, I'll be ready by the time
Yeah.
you get here.
Ain't asking no questions.
Everybody call me, kid. Come on, I need it. It be 4 o'clock in the morning. All right, I'll be.
Yeah. Yeah.
We on capers. We on about 3-4
I,
casinos. We
Yeah.
had went to
I,
Mississippi all the way to Hyatt.
girl, oh
We
my
right
God, like I'm
trying to
telling
hit
y'all,
it. I'm not looking for cars. Look, trying to see if we see it.
It's not embarrassing. She was crying for her sister. She was right. Cause listen, homeboy had the nerve to do that, and he had the nerve to cut up at the graduation,
one of my graduations for my
and
preschool.
she had got in her car and started to cry because she was embarrassed. Because guess what? On the pictures, everybody looking at these pictures, everybody don't know
Beautiful.
this. Now you putting it at the business.
Right.
So now we at this graduation. Girl, I give that damn window. Open the window. She get out the car, cause we gonna fuck his ass up right now.
I said I work so hard for my business. This man
You
is
ain't
trying
crying.
to mess
Everybody
up
here
my
is for
business.
you.
Right.
I say everybody is at this daycare for you. You see all these faces? I'm talking about parents was round. We was surrounded around the car like we were gonna do a whole prayer around her car. Everybody was like, "Come on now, Chantrell. Come on now, Miss
Because you know what
Hudson."
it was? Although I was embarrassed, I actually had parents that were going through
The same thing.
same thing.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, God, I see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many parents, mothers that I just had to pass tissue to and give them hugs in my office till this day.
Mm.
Because I can tell you something.
Mhm.
I've been there. And
Mhm.
I learned something too. Now I tell them daddies, don't come up to my school thinking you finna catch your baby mama here and cause a problem. What I did learn is you will catch a child endangerment charge for my whole capacity. Did you know that? So while you think you're gonna catch them at a school, because men like to do that, you gotta
Mhm.
take that baby to school. I'm gonna be right there waiting. I've had
That's
some
so
of those situations. I
crazy.
had to call the police on
Serious.
some parents, and that's when I learned. The officer told one, if you don't get from up here, you will catch a child endangerment charge for the capacity of the license at this preschool. You
Our
cannot go
kids.
to where children are and cause harm to nobody, even though you're not doing nothing to the children. It's a
Right.
dangerous environment for
For
children.
Right.
You
everybody at the
Right.
cannot
school.
do that.
Right.
So I learned that. So I be telling them, like,
Don't
don't
come
come up
up
here.
here
I
with
had
that.
one took one by the shirt one time, marched it in the school to tell us to put him on back on the emergency pickup. I said, I'm calling DCF. What are you doing? I'm a mandated DCF report. You cannot do this. So I was like, okay, God, now I see.
Mm-hmm.
Now I see because I help so many women and I give them the courage. I give them resources, the same resources that I've used that helped me and didn't give me a hard time, the same shelter that I stayed in. While I even had my preschool, I stayed in the shelter. Like I use those same resources now to help the families that I come across every day. Even some of
Mm.
my employees, them too.
You won't even believe it. It's 2024 and there's people still in something toxic.
Oh, I can
Man, they
believe
be
it.
dying.
I can
Yeah.
believe it.
These women do not be making it out. They be
And
dying. These men be
so,
mentally.
like
It's so bad
it's
now. It's the high schoolers.
Would you
it's
say, April?
yeah, like where when I worked, especially when I would work booking, y'all. Let me tell y'all, like it's not all, and I'm not taking sides, but it's so crazy because most of the times women, and I can imagine the guilt, or imagine like they're fed up because
Mm.
I was once that person that was fed up. I just
Mm-hmm.
think my badge at the time gave me a reason to be like, I got so much to lose. Cause there was times, y'all, I'm waiting on the porch with the piece, like soon as he drive up in his driveway. Like you lose, you almost lose yourself sometimes. So when I would book
April, I'm
women,
gonna cut you off, but something just popped up in my head about your bad situation. I just want to chime into this, and I want to ask you a question right along with
uh-huh,
answering the question that I had put out there. When you was booking women that came in wherever you
uh-huh.
worked at, right? And they had a domestic situation, right? Did you look at them and say, God damn, I'm going through this same thing too? Did you feel like this me?
I didn't resonate with them on that to that degree, but it was like I've been there.
Yeah,
And sometimes you have to kind of console them because they come in crying, they come in there distraught, they come in
yeah,
there all type of, and it's like it's gonna be okay, mama. And it's like, yeah, I've been there.
yeah,
You know, they hit they hit a nigga with a car. They done beat the girl down. Like they got the worst charges, is what I'm saying.
yeah,
So I look at it and I get so angry sometimes because it's like we wait till we get fed up. We get up here and
yeah.
then we explode. And
Mm.
And we
then
do.
the kids lose, and then you get what I'm saying. So that's the point that I'm trying to make. So it definitely goes both ways,
Right.
but women are far, to me, in my experience with working in my field, women are far more violent, believe it or not.
Oh, I believe it.
I book more violent women.
I believe it. And
Men, I mean, every
I,
now and then hit a
I
dealer,
all
some
80% like
paraphernalia.
fully on men.
Yeah,
I know we fuck.
but I hate that we get to that point, and it's because we don't have an outlet. And
Mm.
like it goes back to what we were saying earlier about our, preserving what people think, not speaking out. And that's why I don't really speak out on this because I don't even believe in bashing him
Yeah,
because it wasn't always like this.
yeah.
Mhm.
However, it's a story to be told to help
Somebody
someone to
else.
Right.
get
I,
them
you
told her that this
Yeah.
before we got here. I told her the Chanterelle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for me, I was like, I don't want to talk about this no more. Like, my life has changed. I asked God to just change my life and help me. I'm not talking about this no more. I'm out of it. I made it. I moved on. I don't want to talk. Don't ask me nothing about no domestic violence. Don't ask me nothing about nothing. And then I'm telling you, God, I heard God clearly. He said, it's okay. That was a testimony. You
Mm.
pass that test so that you can have this testimony to help everybody else. Remember the people, the women that you've already helped. Did you forget a
Yep.
couple years ago when you spoke and you gave your testimony? Did you forget all the women that thanked you? All the women that said you helped them? Why now would you feel like because everything is different, that's not your life no more, and you just this different person? I cleaned you up so that
You could
people can
tell.
see and know I did it for you,
Correct.
so that I will do the same thing
Because
For
for
God
them.
said He's no perspective person.
Hmm.
Yeah.
If He did
And
it for
that's something
He did it for
Hmm.
all.
that I say now, cause I'm like one of those. Well, I would be like, oh, he gotta have this, he gotta have that, and I felt like God put me in a position to rely on Him and not man, and I think that's what we all need to have our mindset on,
Yep.
cause it says that in the Bible, he that finds a good thing finds a good wife or a good woman. You
Mm-hmm.
know the scripture. But we're always like kind of like, oh, I need to find me a good man. I need to find me a man with money. I need to find, and it's like, no, you don't need to be looking for nobody. You need to be relying on God and let God send him to
Exactly.
you, because
Facts.
what the word says, He will find you.
Right.
Exactly.
So for me, I was placed in a position to where God, when I say God showed up and showed out, He's like, I heard him, like she said, but in my case, it was like, I need you to have faith and rely on me,
Yep.
and not and
Yep.
so that's my storyline that I tell people, because, as we get through the interview, I have been through it. And it was not a man, but it was God. And it was just like, the village,
Mm.
things that came, and people who, and it was just like, okay, God, I see you doing your big one. Because I would talk to him and I would pray to him, and nobody knew I had a lot of things that I was battling silently, because I don't speak on things. I am very private. So again, I really stay firm in believing that God will put you in a position where he will humble you, and
Yeah.
you will have no choice but to bow down to him, because remember, he is a jealous God. And
Yeah.
when you love and worship something more than him,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna humble you.
Yeah. You have to go through a stage of humility. And I think, like, for me, God had to humble me because, again, I was one of those women that was one of those wives that's, oh, I got a ring on it. Oh, I was married for 20 some years. I thought that was like the biggest thing, but it was all fake.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got his last name, but when we get home, he go on the living room and I go in the room. We go to the park together with our kids, and we like one big old happy family. We the Huxtables coming to the park. We the Huxtables on the park. And I cater him like I'll do it at the house sometimes. Like I'm always cook for him and feed him, but I'm gonna do it with attitude. Here go your plate. I'm gonna feed him, but I'm gonna throw his plate at him. But I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. But it was all a facade, and I got to the point where I just said, I don't want to fake no more.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't want to pretend no more.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't.
It
I had
becomes
to.
draining.
It is. It's extremely draining, and I went to the stage where I had to make a decision on what I wanted to do. And somebody actually told me, they was like, Kid, you have to just accept that you have a hoe for a husband.
Oh,
Why I gotta accept that? Why?
what?
You have to and I was told I had to accept what I married.
Mm.
But that's who he became.
Yeah.
He wasn't that when I met him, but
Yeah.
that's who he became.
Right.
So again, he had on the parks, the opportunities was there. He took them. What can I do?
You
I
can't even
can't
be mad with the chicks.
I wasn't.
Gotta be mad with the guy.
At every instant. I was.
It-
Y'all see,
every season.
huh?
Ev- I said it was every season, like every year. It
It
was somebody different.
was. She ain't lying. It was. They would see us come on that park every day as one big happy couple, and It was nothing.
So basically, y'all just showed up like it was like a role. Okay, let's put this on real quick
Yep,
and let's
Well,
show
absolutely.
up.
You should.
that's how
That
that's how a lot of households have become or are.
they
It's
pretend.
like you're testing
No,
trains because
it's,
there was
it's
a point
still
in my
happening
marriage I
right
was
now.
living in a separate bedroom. We were in two separate rooms.
Mhm.
We wasn't even sleeping together. But
Yeah,
Mm,
in the public eye,
y'all show like
it's
y'all
that,
have.
but
absolutely.
it's
Mm,
people to keep putting all that. But your price, like your peace, y'all is priceless. Like it's not worth it.
I was
It's
tired. I was tired. And I
yeah.
don't forget the last time Straw was, he left his phone in the room. He came in there and I was ironing clothes in the room. And he came in and he mistakenly put his phone down. He got out of the shower. He put his phone down. And the phone just kept buzzing. So I turned the phone over here and I sent a dick pic. Bitch, I'm done. I'm sick of you.
Sick of
I'm
you.
just sick of you. You just never going to change. And it's always somebody on the pod. You couldn't find nobody else. Y'all
yeah,
see me every day
It
on
was.
come here with my
yeah,
every day. I'm so sick of y'all hoes. I'm so sick of you. I'm so sick of them. I'm tired.
yeah.
Just go ahead and be for the street.
Kia, Kia
Okay.
whooping ass on the pod.
Huh? What you
Kia
say?
whooping ass on the pod.
I sure did. I sure did.
Whooping ass on the
I
pod.
did. I
It,
did.
it's
I
okay.
But
did.
they be out of pocket.
Yeah,
It only happened once, but I had to because this is the second time. The first time I gave you grace because you didn't know. But then the second time, oh, I drove your car. You wanted to tell me this in my face. Oh, I was driving your car and da da da. What? And the first time, I gave you grace. You didn't understand. You didn't even know his real name. Because he told you his name was Andrew. Nigga name on it. You know what I'm saying?
Ah,
Type of shit I'm dealing with. Y'all simple minded women, like, okay, the first time I graced, it was no problem. It was love. I was like, okay, kumbaya, y'all, we gonna go past it. But then you come back the next season with the same BS.
But it be the fact that they be thinking that they about to get something different.
And then you was like real boastful, like real adamant, like,
And then you want to call me later, and you want me to feel sorry for you.
oh, I
No,
had one
baby.
of them. I had one of them.
Deal with that, baby. Hey, that ain't my man. that your man. That ain't my man, and not
Yeah.
my problem.
Mine just was a habitual offender as far as just being a cheater. That's what he was. He just, and he felt like because he was, a breadwinner in the household that he could.
yeah,
Mhm.
So it was like, okay, I can do this and I can do that. And I allowed it because I wanted, again, one of my kids to have the two family household. I wanted my sons to see, us raise our boys together because I believe like I can't raise boys by myself, but I
Yeah.
had the
right,
choice. I had to figure that shit out.
right.
I had to. I had no choice to. But then here I go. I was so afraid of how my kids was going to feel. Like, okay, so they're
Mhm.
used to having this, and this. How I'm going to do this because now it's only one income.
Right.
And I remember I was
Yeah,
I left one day. I left, and I used to. I had to. When I say
you
I
wouldn't
had to
do that.
humble myself.
Mhm.
I used to catch the bus. Nobody knew I was catching the bus, but I was catching the breeze. I found there was a breeze. I worked all the way by Sawgrass, and I had moved to Miami Gardens because we was living in Fort Lauderdale, and I left my home. And I would catch the breeze to work, and I would walk from Sawgrass Mall to the corporate center over there by Sawgrass, off of Sawgrass Expressway every day. And I would rent a car on the weekends. And my son and Pop said we was riding one day. I used to take them to South Beach, just go look at the houses and just hang out. Just something for them to do because, I'm trying something new because I've never been single a day of my life since as an adult. So, and my son was like, Mom, we going to be okay. And at that moment, I turned my head like we had this. I ain't gonna never lie. We had that's when the Kia little rat cars came out. I had a little Kia car, and the sunroof was open, and I just turned my head and I just boohoo cried. But they
Mhm.
just listen to music, but I'm out here, I'm snotting, crying because I was like. I was so fearful how I was hurting them because I thought I was
And they
because I was
all the
being
while
selfish. I was fine. They was fine.
they was
But
fine.
in my mind, I'm hurting my kids because I made this decision. And I don't know what to do at this moment
They're
because
not in their
again,
own
I never
space. They don't
correct.
have their video games. They
Them
don't
kids
have
was all
this. They
right.
don't
They
have.
was fine. They
Actually,
was fine.
they was probably happy that you getting the hell
He
on.
actually was. They was
that's what I
fine.
was
Yeah.
about to say, Kima. I had an experience like that one time with my daughters. We had moved out. This was the last time. This was like the final straw for me.
And that was
And I was
so I'm
telling
glad
my girl,
y'all pulling it all together. So we ain't even got to go through what was the last straw.
I end up just that was done. I was done. I was done. So me and my daughters, we moved in together in our own place. And the same thing, I was nervous. I'm like, rent is 2,500. I'm like, oh my God, how I'm gonna do this? But God made it to where, my job, I'm able to work overtime. So I'm like, I could do this. I could do this. And I remember I was helping the girls do their closets and stuff. And we were just talking, they're of age, 13 now and 11 and 13. And my 11-year-old is like she been here before. So they were just like, girls, they was like, well, mama, I like it like this. It's quiet. It's peaceful. And we love daddy. We love our daddy, but we don't like when he makes you cry. And we don't like when I'm like, okay. And then she was like, the oldest said, well, why did you take him back? Because we was happy when y'all wasn't together, even though we love him. And she was like, yeah, you put a man before us. Y'all, I cried. I looked at them and I was like, what? I was doing this for y'all. I was like, wait, I would never put a man before y'all. Number one. Number two, I wanted you all to be with your dad because this is how you were born. Like I was just thinking. And it was like, no, and they consoling me, because I was so emotional to know that to know.
Oh Lord, she went out. There you go. There
Oh,
you You back, baby. You
okay. I
out, you
put
back.
my phone on do
There you
not disturb, but y'all got me.
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah.
We see you.
So, for me, it was like I thought, I'm like, kids are resilient at the end of the day. They will adapt to any environment. So
Yep.
I experienced that. And once I got through that, y'all, once I heard that, once they told me that, girl, I was like, please, ain't no looking back. He ain't gotta never worry about me ever.
Because your
And
kids
I ain't
good.
look. I did not look back, ain't bit back, and everybody good where we at. They cool. Hell, I'm not even in Miami no more, as y'all can see, because I'd have been sitting at the table with y'all. We good. Everything is good. But I've been there. I've been there. And those kids they gave me that extra strength that I needed. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that because that made me realize where you think you're doing wrong, you're actually doing right. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
when you thought staying there was right, it actually was hurting y'all. It was hurting these kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
My daughter go to school and was worried about me. She's like, she can't focus. She's constantly texting me, and I just want to make sure you okay, mommy, because I know, what happened with daddy. And it's like, I need y'all to be focused in school. I don't need y'all to worry about me. Well, how can kids not worry about their mother?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, so for me, the last straw, I'm gonna definitely say it has something to do with my kids, specifically my oldest son, my firstborn.
Mhm.
And I'm just gonna put it out there
Yeah.
because it's the truth.
Mhm.
Now, I was a single mom. I raised that boy by myself.
Mhm.
Here we are, all these years later. I had a situation with his dad because he was on child support, and I'm just gonna put it out there because this ain't no secret. I had him on child support because I'm a single mom. Like, why I gotta take care of this baby by myself?
Right.
I'm gonna do it regardless because it's my baby.
Right.
But so he found out about the whole domestic violence situation that happened. So when he found that out, I don't know who was talking to him or how it happened. But next thing I know, on top of what I'm already dealing with in my house, the next thing I know, I get um I get letters in the mail. He's taking me to court now
What?
to take my child. And he's using that my son is in an unsafe home environment. Now this is a child, you don't know him. You didn't haven't been helping me raise him all these years. But because I didn't take you off child support when you asked me to, you told me you don't take me off. I know how I'm gonna get you to get me off. I'm gonna take them, and when I take them, they ain't gonna make me pay you no child support anyway. But you ain't been paying none anyway. That's why you got all these arrears. That's why
Right.
they freezing your accounts and they doing all this stuff. So now you coming to bother me. So now you see the domestic violence situation,
Mhm.
and now you gonna come after me and try to take my son, not because you really want your son and you want to raise him.
Mhm.
You just
It's talking
don't
about
want
be
to pay
spiteful.
child
Be
support.
spiteful.
Right.
So you finna do this to my kid? That mama bear kicked in. It was goodbye, adios, arrivederci, everything. I ain't trying to save nobody because now this judge done gave this man majority custody of my child.
What?
The judge did it because you know what
Oh,
he was
yeah.
doing? He was coming with all the police reports.
Yep.
Now, if you was so concerned, why you ain't call me? Why you ain't try to get your son through all of this? Because the truth is, it's what you said it was. So for me, it took. So I just look at it like what you thought you was doing that was hurting me.
Mm-hmm.
It helped me. It
Yeah.
helped me to just go
Mm-hmm.
because ain't nothing, nobody worth my kids.
Yep.
Right.
You come messing with my kids, I'm a totally different beast.
Absolutely.
Mess with my kids and I get a strength that I don't know where it come from. When I tell you I ain't think about staying, I didn't think about nothing. All I kept thinking about was, how dare you?
Right.
What you gonna do with my son over there? All that my son is used to. But he's over there and my hands are tied. And it's nothing that I can do but do what the judge told me to do. That was go to counseling, take
Mhm.
my kids to counseling, and get the hell away from that man
Right.
by any means necessary.
Right.
He ain't had to tell me twice. It was over with. So I said, God, that's how you had to do it. However you had to get me out of it, you got me out of it. Guess what my son did? Came home one weekend,
Mhm.
never went back.
Never went back.
It was me saying, "Oh, ain't this a court order? Why you ain't come back and pick him up? What's going on?" Yeah,
Because you ain't had nothing else to
you
work
ain't
with.
want him anyway. But that's how it helped me. You thought you was hurting me,
Right.
but you did that helped me to just move on forward. So them kids will give you a strength like never before. You know they say a mother's love.
Yep.
You just never know. You want to
Yep.
play with the mama bear, play with them cubs.
Yep. Sharonda said these kids see everything and are stronger than what we think. They
Mm-hmm.
absolutely are.
Yeah.
They absolutely
And we
are.
think that we hiding and covering and thinking that we securing them. Meanwhile, they like ready to for you to find happiness.
Marvelous said, do you ladies think staying in an abusive relationship, especially when kids are involved, do you think that teaches them to stay in an abusive relationship as well or become a person? Does the kids things, wait, does the things you endure? Just ask because I see some people, kids, accept the same things that their mom accepted.
Okay, so for me, I, I saw that it was in my household between my mom and my dad. But I wouldn't say because she went through it that I stayed because I also remember my mom left. I
Mm-hmm.
remember it like it was yesterday. I remember her packing us up in the car and me thinking of her strength also helped me to leave too because I'm like, my mama ain't put up with this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna put up with this either. Like if she did it, I can do it.
Right.
So for me, no, it gives me something to tell my children, and they know that they're gonna listen to me because y'all seen it. Don't do it. Do not do what I did.
Right.
But I had nobody. Man, my mom passed away when I was 15 years old. So we never had those conversations. She never spoke to her girls about that or anything. We didn't have that. So for me, in a sense, I don't regret nothing because when I talk to my girls, it's coming from a place of experience.
Right.
I've been there. You saw it. For whatever reason, God allowed you to see it and you wasn't a baby. So you understand. And if I got out of it, I never want y'all to deal with that. I never want y'all to put up with that.
Absolutely.
So I kind of like give them a little rundown of dudes and like don't depend on no man because I learned that the power and when finances is involved and they are the providers, it's so much harder because you're like stuck.
Yeah.
And I never want that for my girls.
I agree. Remy said it takes a different type of strength and will to walk away, restart, and heal. You ladies are not only survivors, you're warriors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sharonda said, yep, every time they fuck up, it's always, let's go to therapy. Like, sir. Tia said, you are such a blessing to family, Chantrell. Yes, she
Thank
is.
you.
Okay. Felicia said, "Amen." She agreed with something that was said. Mr. Finley, welcome to the show, Mr. Finley. Okay, that's all the comments that we have right now. So, Kim, you have some more questions for us?
So I don't want to always just talk about the bad parts of it. I want to find out where you ladies are now. So and then we're gonna first of all, matter of fact, let me end it with this this part, then I could get to the other stuff. So what this is for Chantrell actually, because she's the one that wrote this book. What gave you the courage to speak out about your story and write a book about it?
Because like I said, when I was in that, and it was just so it was traumatizing for me. I ain't gonna lie. Like, it was traumatizing for me. So I got deeper into my faith, and like I said, it was just me and God, and I struggled with it back and forth. Should I speak out on it? Should I not? Should I not? And that's what set me free, living in my truth. And so when I lived in my truth, nobody can tell my story for me. I shut down all the whispers. I shut down all the naysayers. Now, let me speak. Stop trying to tell my story for me. And then y'all telling it behind my back, and y'all ain't even got it right. So let me speak on what I went through, and what I'm doing, and what I got going on. And I started to do that, and it's like I took so many people power from them when I opened up and I spoke for myself, and I told my own story. Yeah, I was in an abusive relationship. Yeah, this was happening. Yeah, that was happening. So now what y'all got to say?
Right.
What y'all talking about now?
Right.
Y'all ain't got nothing to talk about no more.
It's in hard
I
copy
done took
now.
y'all power from y'all.
Yeah.
I
It's in
took my
hard
power
copy.
back. So just living in my truth set me free. So I learned the true meaning of the truth shall set you free. Because when I was keeping everything, it was a secret and this and that. It was just like, when you go out, do they know? Do they not know? You think everybody looking at you. You think people know something, but you don't really know. So for me, it just set me free in every aspect of my life, even with my children. Because now I was out there, so now it opened up a dialogue that now my children can have a conversation with me about what was happening in our household. Because honestly, they never said nothing.
Right.
My children never said anything until I opened up about it, and now we're going to have these conversations.
Right.
And it just helped me, because the book, for me, everything was therapeutic for me. I'm not going to lie. I wrote it, and it took me a long time to go back and read it. Once everything went through publishing and all of those things, it took me a while to go back and read it because I was scared. It was different than me putting it on paper for me to go back and see the finished product and read it. I'm not going to lie to you. When I read my book and I lived it, I cried again because I just could not believe
that you endured all that.
I endured all of that. Like, I just could not believe. I cried, and then I laughed a little bit, and my emotions was just up, down, happy, sad, angry. Like, the book made me feel all of those ways, because I'm like, like, what? So for me, I wrote it because it was a part of my healing process. I wouldn't be honest if I tell you you heal overnight, or you heal in a couple of years, because if I be honest, I'm still healing. You know why? My life now is new. It's not what I knew, what I known it to be. So now I have a husband, and I'm not gonna lie, and Kima can attest to this. I felt like he was too good to be true. And I felt like if I don't test him, I'm not going to know. So here go me, because I done been through some traumatic stuff. Here go me poking the bear sometimes, because I want to see how you react. And what if I say something that you don't like?
Right.
What if, I ain't cooked today? Like, I feel like I shouldn't have to cook all the time. So I just started just like doing stuff because I wanted to feel him out too, because I didn't know. I didn't know. And then that's when she would tell me, and other people would be like, girl, stop. Stop.
I
Stop.
needed her to open the gates of heaven.
Stop. Just let this man love you. Let this man be a man, like a real man to you. And it's not coming with there was the control and this and that. But I didn't know that. So I'm just doing little stuff to try to see if it's for real. When the truth is, he didn't deserve that.
Right.
It was me. Because of what I had went through.
Yep.
Here go me doing little stuff just to see if he's showing up like,
The
you ain't finna trick me.
Right.
Like, I'm not doing this again. You're not finna trick me this time, because sir, I can just stay by myself and live my best
Right.
life. But no, God has something totally different for me. So I'm happy that I spoke out about it. Like I said, the strength just came from out of nowhere. I ain't care no more. I was tired. I ain't care. Don't be talking about me. Like, I'm a good person. So I'm gonna speak my truth, and in hopes that it would help somebody else.
Right.
And lo and behold, my inbox went bananas. And it was people that I've been friends with on social media for a long time. I would have never known, because I opened up, they opened up.
Friends
So
around
now,
us.
even friends that was around us, like,
us.
wasn't saying anything.
Nothing.
And I thought it was just me, because I'm the one y'all holding interventions for, getting together, rallying up, talking about, okay, you need to leave this man. It was crazy. So now, just me speaking up, me writing a book, about, and the book is based on my life, but it's funny too. It's funny. Like I said, it'll give you a lot of different emotions. It's really, 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 really good, because my life, it was like I still sometimes say I need to get back with the director, because we did a stage play on it as well, and it did extremely well. And I'm still thinking about calling the director, but I'm like, just ask him to get it on Tubi, make a movie, go, or a Lifetime. Like, it was really like a Lifetime movie, my life, and it just is like, I couldn't believe it, and I did it so long. Like, how I did that? We kids, how? I felt so bad, but then I was like, well, God, I believe God, and I know that He makes no mistakes, and everything that happened in my life happened for a reason. And as I continue to live and just go through things, He shows me why I went through that. And so because of that, I'm grateful. I'm grateful I'm here, because everybody's not so lucky, and I do understand that. I'm just grateful I'm here, and I can tell somebody else.
Yep.
That's all.
That's what I strongly believe. That's what I told you, that this is your testimony, and it's good that somebody else can see it and they can relate to it, and that you probably helping them to get the strength to actually walk away from a situation that they probably didn't think they had the strength to actually do.
Yeah. And I would hope so, because like I said, walking away is not easy
at all.
Like, for me, I never forget my grandmother, before she even passed, she told me, she was like, "You gonna leave? Shut your mouth." Because I would always for somebody be like, "I'm gonna leave you," and this and this and this and this and this. My grandma simply said to me, "Shut your mouth.
Yep.
Don't you
do it.
Don't you say nothing else to that man about you leaving him.
Let's go.
Shut your mouth."
That's when you know
and
you're done.
you go.
That's when you know you're done. When you're quiet about it and you don't want to talk about it and you just
Yeah,
go,
that's why I was.
That's when you know you're done.
I ain't want to talk no more. I don't want no family meetings, man. I don't want nothing. Like, I'm done. I'm gonna figure this out, and I'm just gonna go. I don't slept in my car with my kids. I just go park in the parking lot where I know he ain't gonna find me. What is bright lights? I done slept in my car with my kids. Like, nobody be knowing this stuff, because guess what? I'm gonna get up and go open up that daycare the next morning.
Right.
I'm gonna make sure them children get baths and stuff. I'm going to my friend's house, give my kids baths. My friends don't even know we sleeping in the car, just because I didn't want to go to the house. And we got a home, beautiful home to go to. But I'd rather let my kids just sleep. I ain't getting no sleep because I'm watching over them, making sure nobody finna walk up on this car.
Right.
Or my baby's in here. But just my kids used to get some rest. And like I said, I ain't gonna get too deep into it's a lot, but you get the book, you'll know.
Get the book.
Get the book.
It was a lot.
So
get the book.
So as y'all know, y'all see what Chantrell is doing in this season of love. April, what are you doing in this season? Any love, life? What's going on?
We can't hear you.
Oh
You
no,
muted
it went
off.
out.
It went out again. Hold on.
Where's you? I know you
I
can
can't
hear
hear it
us.
now.
I
You
can't
can
hear
hear
you.
us. She can't hear. She can hear us, but we can't
We
hear
can't hear
her.
you. Hold on. I don't know why. Say something again.
No,
Mm-mm. No.
no. Hold on one second.
Mm-mm.
It's not there. Oh, now it is. Okay.
April, say something. No. Still
No.
can't hear you. Hold on.
Hold on one second.
No.
The
The
engineer trying to
engineer can
fix it.
fix it.
Hold on one second.
It's off now.
Hey,
There
you
it
There it
there? You
goes.
goes.
There it
there?
go.
Yeah,
Okay.
somebody had it muted on y'all side, cause it could show.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Um,
But that's probably
what
what.
I was
Hmm.
though, sorry about that, y'all. I mean, what I was saying though is, first of all, I'm getting used to being retired, enjoying my retirement.
Okay.
I was forced to retire due to a illness and sickness, disability issue.
Okay.
So even though it's 20 years of service that I did serve, I'm still thankful that I did have the 20 years experience. And then also, I was able to, you know, walk away with everything. When I say I got everything, I'm good. So I'm still taking it all in. And since I moved out of Miami now, I like where I'm at. It's a little country, so it's like the city girl is in the country girl now era. But I've taken on the influencer route, just tapping into that to see how that goes, doing content, fashion, beauty, lifestyle. And I have personally been invited to events. It's thriving on TikTok for some reason. I'm thriving more on TikTok than Instagram. So I'm definitely taking that route. And TikTok has invited me to several events I've attended. So I'm just seeing where it takes me as far as just becoming a content influencer. I like to get a brand deal with a brand and just take it from there. So it's just me sitting home every day, a stay-at-home mom now, and which I pleasantly enjoy because my daughters are teenage daughters now, so I'm all up in their business. Like I'm literally like a volunteer at the school. I was approved, so I've been out there twice. They have a nonprofit organization called Ladies of First Coast, which I love. And the girls, it's a really great mentorship program, and I just love working with kids and young ladies. And by me sharing a couple things with the administration there, they're like, we can use someone like you, so why don't you put in a volunteer? So I have gone out there twice. I've attended meetings with the girls, and I'm just enjoying it. So that's where I'm at now.
Okay.
That's good. I want to say congrats to the influencer thing on TikTok because that's major.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That is major.
Yeah, I just got another invite to go to Atlanta for an event.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna go because you don't have to go to all of them, but it becomes again with my disability. Sometimes I can get up and go. Some days I'm fine. Some days are challenging for me.
Right.
So I kind of got to take it easy. I don't push myself too much. And I don't want anything to feel like it's work neither. When it start feeling like work to me, I get aggravated and I'm just like, I'm not doing it. But I'm enjoying um the whole TikTok thing. Like I just think that's so dope that they invited me to a couple things and to become a part of their program. And one of my ventures is eventually is to become a real estate investor as well. So that's another project I'll be working on for 2025.
Okay.
As part of my goals. But for now, y'all, I'm just taking it one day at a time.
Hmm.
That's good. I got one more question for you, ladies. If you can give someone advice that's listening, what would it be?
I'll go.
Okay. Okay, go
Okay.
ahead.
If I can give any advice, is it pertaining to
Your situation
my
or
situation? I would say leave the first time because it's not going to get better. Just know that if you don't have like means to leave, like I said, my grandma told me, close your mouth, come up with an exit plan, and you execute it properly. Because your life can depend on it. Um, just know that you are so much better than what you were told. You deserve better. You are loved. You deserve all the great things that God have in store for you. And love yourself, because a lot of times that's what we don't want to admit. We let ourselves down. At some
Mhm.
point, we our self-esteem had gotten so low that we accepted what we were being given. So it starts with just love yourself. Love yourself enough to know that I deserve better. Be very mindful of the people you keep around you, because villages do matter. They say it takes a village to raise children, but it also takes a village for you to thrive in this world. And I'm
Mhm.
grateful for my village, because my village did help me through hard times. Just being mindful, like I said, of those that you keeping around you, um, and just do what you can to make sure you keep your head above water, and just don't take no crap. Don't take no crap. Stop trying to save a man, a woman, I don't care who it is. You cannot save anybody. People have to want it for themselves,
Mhm.
because it's like a weight holding you down. And before you know it, when you do decide to leave, if you are lucky enough, so much time has been wasted.
Mhm.
Put your trust in God, not man, because like we spoke on earlier, he will definitely humble you.
Mm-hmm.
Trust God that he will guide you, order your steps, hold your hand and take you through. Even when you're going through hard times and going through those storms, he going to hold you, because guess what? It's going to make you resilient. It's going to make you stronger. But just stay close to him, because I never let him go. Like I said, I would pray and I would talk to him. God, I'm in this and I don't know why, but I just trust that you're going to get me out of it. And he did just that. So that's what I would tell you ladies on today. And anything, when you do get out of it, just seek counseling. Because it's not the healing process is not going to happen overnight. Things are going to happen that'll remind you and that'll just trigger you. Now, they can be triggering. So get the help that you would need. There's nothing wrong with counseling. If you have children, so that means it's a family situation now. It's a family traumatic experience. Involve your kids. Heal your kids, because guess what? You don't want those kids to grow up to be an abuser, and you don't want those kids to also grow up and accept abuse. However, it could turn out, because it can definitely turn out either one of those ways. So for me, I'm telling you that because for me, I was able to see little things in my children that I knew that they picked up just from seeing how we operated in a home, and it was my job to do what I needed to do to fix that, and that was to take my family to therapy. And it's nothing wrong with that, man, male or female, because like you said earlier, females be tripping too. And they be a lot of times they're more violent in situations than the men. So ladies, you go to counseling, do what you need to do, and vice versa. If it's a man and you've been through domestic violence and you're experiencing domestic violence, do what you need to do to get yourself the help and get out as well. That's what my advice would be.
You have anything, April, that you want to state?
Yeah. To piggyback off of Sean, I would definitely say, keep God first. Put Him first. Talk to Him. I know we have friends and we have those confidant people, but there's nobody that there's no one like talking to God and just staying close to Him, especially during hard times. And
Mhm.
then, secondly, advocate for yourself. If you advocate for yourself, you see your worth. And when I say that, I mean it across the board, whether it's in your relationship, at your job, a situationship, whatever it is, advocate for yourself, because a lot of times we lose ourselves in these relationships and friendships, or we feel like we're stuck somewhere, and you don't have to be. So advocate definitely for yourself, and also therapy. I did therapy. I did couples therapy. I did individual therapy. I've done it with my children. Therapy does not mean you're crazy. Therapy is not a bad thing, like she said, but it does help with other coping mechanisms. It helps you cope with things. It helps you rebuild it. It helps beginning the healing process. It even helps you process and to process things different. So my advice would be, take a step back and do self-reflection, because that's where it starts with taking accountability and advocating for yourself, and also just knowing and seeing your worth. And again, that speaks on both sexes, men and women. um and then having self-love, self-care, date yourself. Don't jump back into a relationship. You meet someone and you feel like, a lot of times people get trauma bond, and the whole time you're thinking, oh, we got the same troubles. I don't want to deal with nobody that has been through the same thing I've been through, because that is considered a trauma bond. And when you bonded by trauma, that is a setup for disaster at some point. And
Right.
so we have to look at the whole picture and just analyze the type of individuals and people that you surrounding yourself with, the places that you go. Like, switch it up, change your environment. If you keep going back to the same environment, you're gonna end up with the same results. So I would encourage you all to step out of your comfort zone, date yourself, solo dates. It was awkward for me. I felt like everybody was staring at me, but it became so normal and so convenient, and so, like, I'm looking forward to my solo date. Like, I would do it every Monday or Tuesday, because those were my days off when I was working. And I just couldn't wait for those solo dates. Date yourself. Take time to yourself and heal. Don't jump into the next relationship. Don't even tell people everything. When you get into that situation, he don't need to know what you went through. He
Mhm.
don't need to know nothing about your past. Cause you need to see the authentic side of him. If you telling him everything, then he gonna know how to cover his real stuff and pretend, and then you see the realness come out later on. So slowly, date. Don't be so quick to date. I say date yourself, advocate for yourself, take accountability, heal properly, and make sure those children are healing properly, and have conversations with the kids as well, because that's one of my things. I don't feel comfortable just bringing anyone around my daughters, any men around my kids. So those are things that we have those conversations. We actually have family meetings. I would encourage anyone that's listening, have family meetings, have those conversations, those uncomfortable conversations, and listen. As parents, allow your kids to express themselves. Allow them, because one of the things that my therapist said to me that she cannot stand to hear is the saying, what goes on in this house stays in this house. That
Mm.
is the worst to tell a child, because now you can never speak on what's going on deep down inside. There's a difference with telling business and speaking on things that's happening. So I allow my children to express themselves. When we have our meetings, I even ask them, is there anything I need to work on? Am I making y'all feel? My kids tell me, we don't like when you cuss at us. We don't like when you. I'm like, okay, I can work on that. So I hear them out, and I encourage to have family meetings and have those conversations with your children or with your significant other. Have a meeting with your spouse, have a meeting with your boyfriend. Work on goals and plans. Do something different that you didn't do in the previous relationship that you would like to do. Change it up, switch it up.
Oh.
That's it.
Okay.
For those
Norma.
that don't know, if you are suffering or you in a domestic situation, there is help out there. There is resources. Um, they also have a national domestic violence hotline. The number is 1-800-799-7233. There is help.
What's the number again?
The number again is 1-800-799-7233.
Okay. It's listed at the bottom of the screen. So if you know someone or if you are that someone that actually needs it and you want to, you don't want to open up about it, but that number is listed below for whoever may need it. Even if you know someone that may need it, just share it with them.
Share, share, share. You never
Share.
know.
If you heard
And
anything tonight,
don't don't be ashamed, y'all. My job was the one who opened me up to this, because when my situation did happen, I was in uniform, which was crazy. And unfortunately, when you work in an agency, they have to report certain things when the incident occurred. And they were the one who gave me all of the information. And there's so much resources out there for domestic violence victims. It really, really is. So don't be afraid to call them to get the help. You actually get more than you think. They do everything. I mean, they even cover medical expenses. They even cover my time that I missed off work to recover. They cover it. Instead of me having to use my personal leave date, the domestic people will pay you for that time. They will pay for your hospital bills. So it's a lot that I learned
Place and
by
everything. And
Yep.
pay for
giving me
last security,
information.
furnish it, everything.
mm,
They give me everything. I
They
didn't
help
even
me.
know. How,
Yep.
Yep, they will help you. You just gotta want the help and also know that every relationship won't be like that.
right.
I would say don't be bitter. Don't guard your heart so bad that you don't love again, because
mhm.
it's somebody that will be out there that will love you, and I mean love you hard, and that will help your heart heal. And I can say that because that's where I'm at right now. I'm not gonna lie. My husband helped my heart heal. My husband is everything that I thought didn't exist. I thought it was a fairy tale. So had I been bitter because of what I went through, I would not have the blessing that I have now. And I call my husband a blessing because that's the life I live. That's what he shows me. And I believe God did that for me because I trusted him. And I said, God, just show me something different because I trust you and I'm faithful to you. And if you love me like your word says you do, you will make things better for me. And that's what happened. And that's just where I am. Not only is my love life amazing, business is amazing, my children are thriving, my family is good. Um so yeah, don't let those traumatic experiences take you out of here.
Mm,
Hold your head up. Do something about it. Some people let those things, those experiences take them out. Be strong. Be strong and just you can make it. You can make it. Just trust. Trust. You got to be uncomfortable to become comfortable.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be scared to step out on faith because I'm telling you, I had gotten myself into some stuff. I had opened my preschool with the assistance of my abuser at the time, but it was another way to control me, and I was gonna let it go. I was gonna say, wasn't I chemo? I was gonna close
Mm-hmm.
my school
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, I'm just gonna do it again one day when I can do it all by myself and I can do it on my own. God said, no, this is the problem. Trust me.
Me,
You move when I tell you to move. And I
Mm-hmm.
promise I did that. I was like, well, God, I don't know where this money gonna come from. This man done told these people put a lock and chain on the door because he ain't giving them another dime to pay this rent at this preschool. So I'm finna send my kids somewhere else. I don't know what I'm about to do. I got another friend with a school. I'm gonna send them over there. And sure enough, I had an honest conversation with my landlord.
Mm-hmm.
An honest conversation and worked something out. I went from one preschool during that time to four preschools.
Mm,
To four preschools. Now I'm a one woman show at this point. God said, look what I did for you.
won't he do it?
And you
well,
doubted me.
mhm.
I told you I would do it. And he did it for me. So that's why I can tell anybody, like, if God can do it for me, he can do it
Hmm.
for you. And that's why I decided to do this podcast tonight and speak on it because it's been a very long time. I've been married now for 6 years. Right, Kima?
Yep.
I've been married now for 6 years and I wasn't going to speak on this one. But I would hope, it is my prayer that someone, is touched tonight, and that our testimonies, April and mine, would just help somebody else. We're normal just like you. We're
Mhm.
moms. We worked, we just went through life as well, but we came out
Yep.
on top
Yep.
because we didn't get stuck and stay. So y'all be strong out there.
Mhm.
Use the phone number that Nakima that's on the screen right there. Use that number. Call. Call for some help. Closed mouths don't get fed. Open your mouth.
Mhm.
Open your mouth. Will it be easy? No. But you get the strength that you need from those that are near you, and this seek the help that you need so that you guys can move forward and go after that life that you desire, that is there and you can have. What you're in, if you're in a mess, that's not what God wants for us.
Yep.
Just trust him and he'll work it out for y'all. I promise he will. Now that I can put a stamp on. Now I can bet on God. Now I ain't gonna say nothing about nobody else, but he'll do it for y'all. Seriously.
I believe if you tell God what you want and you have him give him full control, it'll happen because I that's my prayer for someone, for God to send someone who will love me unconditionally, and who is a God fearing man. And I pray that prayer all the time, and also along with, to help me with the spirit of discernment so I can see, and to piggyback off of what she said, don't be bitter, but just tell God what you want. Everything that Sean has said, if you listen, she put God first.
Mhm.
She
Always.
listened. It comes with obedience. It comes with discipline. This isn't easy. For me, ironically, I have never spoken on my situation. I am a very private person, and I have had those who are close to me have said to me before, I did not write a book. I've heard people say you need to write a book. I have not written a book. However, to be on this podcast tonight and to speak on this publicly and to resonate with Sean as well with Kia, it just gave me a burst of strength as well and fresh air because I was always a little ashamed to speak on things and I was afraid of what, like the truth to be exposed. But I liked one piece of advice or a piece of word that Sean said. It's time to silence the whisperers.
Hmm.
So now you don't gotta try and figure out. Nobody even know about my situation because again, I never spoke on it. I never bashed. People would see me and be like, "Oh, how is such and such?" And I'm like, "Oh, you good? We good?" As if we're still together because I never speak on it. I have never spoke on it. I don't post anything about it. I never made anything, nothing. I never said it. But have had people tell me in the past, April, if you just share your story, you don't know how many people you'll help.
We'll say,
It's true.
yeah.
So I have officially shared my story, and I thank you, ladies, for making it. It is definitely a part. It's healing. It's refreshing because this is also therapeutic. Believe it or not.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mm,
I-
yeah. So just keep God first and tell him what you want, and be obedient. It comes with discipline. You have to.
Okay. Well, ladies, I want to commend you both again, and Kima and myself, and the BBR and OPOV podcast. We thank you, ladies, for joining the show and definitely sharing your stories and being open to be able to talk to everybody about it and not being afraid to just open up and just speak your truths. A lot of people don't know how to speak their truth, but you guys learned it and you guys understood it and you guys shared it. And Chantra, I'm excited to read your book.
You
I
ain't gonna
am.
put it down.
Oh, I hope not. I want to read everything about the book. I'm actually excited. I don't get too many days where I can just sit down and do nothing, but this will be something I'm okay with turning off the TV.
Listen, people were reading that book and they would be like, did that really happen for real?
Mm.
In that airport, the part about the airport, did that really? Yeah, yeah. You
Girl,
thought I can Tina at that airport? Sure did.
So the book is called Succeeding Against All Odds. It can be found on Amazon and where else?
Just on
On
Amazon,
Amazon.
because they'll I I let them take care of it. That was a whole lot packaging at first and doing this. That was too much for me. So it's on Amazon.
Okay.
And they'll take care of all of it. You'll get your order when you order. But I'm gonna say get this book because when part 2 comes out, I don't want y'all to be missing nothing now.
Okay. All
I
right.
don't
There's
want y'all to
definitely
be
a part
missing nothing.
two.
So just make sure you have part 1. And so when part 2 is ready and it comes out, you'll have the collection. Because after that,
Awesome.
I think I'm gonna be done.
Awesome. My sister is a book reader, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy a book from Amazon and send it to you, April, so that way you'll have
Yeah.
it as well. So she's a book reader. She has to read books.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah,
gonna
she's a
love it,
reader.
April.
she's a reader. So I'm gonna go ahead and
April, and I need
bless
to
it to
get the
your book.
feedback, honey.
Please.
We
Oh
need
yeah, I
feedback.
got you, girl. Cause
Okay.
I'm a child. If it's a good one, I'll finish it in a
You
day.
Yes.
will.
Yes.
Okay, so Chantrell, as you guys know, she has 4 daycare centers and she also has a tax service, right?
Well, now, when I first started my preschool, it was small.
Okay.
So that's how I end up with so many. But
Okay.
what I've learned in business, I rather have quality over quantity.
Absolutely.
So over the years, I just worked really hard
Mhm.
on our finances and stuff because my goal was to one day purchase
Mhm.
a building.
Mhm.
So in 2020,
Mhm. You purchased.
I purchased my
Congratulations.
building. But we didn't move into the building until we just moved in our building
Yeah.
2024.
Okay.
So I purchased the building, we sat on it because I
Mhm.
was already in 2 other locations. So we were
Okay.
fine. But I was like, let me get off my behind.
Okay.
God done blessed me. Let me go ahead and get the baby together and we move in. So the building that we purchased is right off of 22nd Avenue and
Okay.
178. It used to be called Skipper Chuck,
Mhm.
but it's Little Stars Academy now. That's my baby. So yeah, that's where we are. Little Stars Academy is definitely a household name. And just the families made us a household name.
Okay.
Little Stars Academy has been up and running now for 11 years
Awesome. And
in Miami Gardens.
what ages do you service?
We service ages 8 weeks to 5 years old during the daytime, but we also have school age children that come back to us for after school, summer camp, winter camp, spring
Okay.
camp. So we do have school age children for camps and after school care up to age 12.
Okay. So with winter break coming up, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys looking for somewhere for your kids to go, you have this young
Little
lady here,
Stars
Little Stars Academy, where you can
Academy.
send your kids. Because again, it is a household name, so you guys can definitely go ahead and check her out and go ahead and find a good, safe space for your children to go throughout the holidays when they don't have anywhere to go, or if you need for them to go somewhere after school. You also have transportation.
No, but I
Okay.
have a lot of my friends that
Okay.
have transportation companies, and I refer them right to them.
Okay, see, she keep it all in the business.
I
She
sure
keep it all in
do.
the family.
I
Yes, she
sure
do.
do.
Yes, she
So
do.
you have all that information, Miss Chantrell, so you can definitely find her on all her social media platforms, and also definitely make sure you guys go out and get her book. And for Miss Lewis, she is also on Facebook, IG, as well as TikTok. April, you can go ahead and call out your handle for TikTok. I forgot it. I'm sorry.
Our TikTok is Fly Girl Boss. It's at Fly Girl Boss. My username is Apple Love, but it's at Fly Girl FLY Girl GIRL Boss BOSS. I am a TikTok shop affiliate as well. So any products that you want to order or you don't see in my showcase, you can just let me know and I add it to my showcase and you can place the order under my showcase, or you can check out my showcase and you can purchase items on there. So again, on TikTok is Fly Girl Boss, which is under Apple Love, and then on Instagram I am APL Fashion. Also, if anyone has any, because I do fashion, lifestyle, beauty content. So if you have any products that you would like for me to do like a review on, you can reach me through there. You can email me. My emails are in my bio on Instagram under APL Fashion, and also on TikTok under Fly Girl Boss. If you want to reach out to me to do a product review or do a video for your products, because I do like the whole little cute videos now, and I have had a couple restaurants that have reached out to me and companies. So far I've been doing product reviews on perfumes. It seems like that's what more people like. So anybody that wants that, you can reach out to me that way. And yeah, that's it.
Okay. Awesome. Tim White, Frank. That's Tim on April. Tim joined the show. Hey
Oh,
Tim, my friend.
hey.
Yep. My friend from Atlanta. Hey Tim, thank you for joining the show. He's looking at us on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Thank you, Tim, for joining. All right, everyone. We want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to the show. Again, we appreciate you guys for taking your time out of your busy evening to join our podcast and to be a part of with your questions and with your answers and giving us your feedback. We know that we cannot do this without you. We still ask that you guys like, share, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel for us. We appreciate you guys so much. On behalf of myself and Kima and the Batman back here who keep coming in and out. We guys thank you. We will be back next. We'll be back. Well, OPOV will be on tomorrow, correct? They'll be on tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So you can tune in right here. Same time, same place. They'll be here with some craziness to talk about. You can also catch us on Wednesdays as well with Meet in the Middle. It'll be on our Facebook as well as on the YouTube channel for OPOV. It starts at 12 o'clock to get you guys through your midday. And we will be back again next week, Friday, with the rest of our cast for the BBR podcast. And again, we thank you guys so much for joining us tonight and we wish you guys the best. Have a good evening, everyone.
Good night.
Bye bye.